business and personal dealings today. And we pray these things in your name. Amen. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And of the things we think, say, and do,
Is it truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Mark, will you introduce our guests, please?
I will. Okay, so this morning we have 39 in attendance, 39 members in attendance. We have 2 guests and 3 guest Rotarians. So the guest Rotarians are all from Greensboro Club. It's Hunter Galloway, Randy White, and Carrie Pale. Thanks to all of you for being here. So Rick Martin has a guest. Where's Rick?
I'm right here, and I'm proud to introduce to you Brad Whiteside. Brad is the son of my best friend from Memphis. Brad lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he's getting ready to launch himself into a real estate career. And he's been hearing me talk about Rotary, well, all of his life. So he's here with us this weekend. His wife just came back from 8 weeks almost in Europe. And they're with us for this week, and I snagged him for a Rotary Club meeting this morning. So welcome, Brad Whiteside.
Welcome. And Mike Conrad has a guest.
Okay. I think most of you met Frank Cheney. Frank was here last week, and as I mentioned, he's Claudia's, I don't say better half. But he's interested in Rotary, and I think in time we'll have a new member here, and I look forward. He's an architect. He said he's just finishing up a big job at Canterbury School, their last building there. So welcome, Frank, to the Kansas City Rotary Club.
That's it.
Thank you, Mark. And I don't see Dale Meltzer here. Okay, we're going to take a, no one's going to get any older this week. Let's see, announcements? Do we have any announcements?
Chris's birthday tomorrow.
Well, that's we got to know. Yeah, let's see. Can we maybe an early happy birthday? Is that true? Is it really your birthday? Well, we're going to do an early happy birthday for you. We usually wait on the Thursday, but we'll do it today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. 29.
Let's see. We are moving quickly through the program. Hey, you know, Walt did such a great job. Didn't Walt do a great job last week with the program? And then I guess he felt like he was done for the year. He takes today off. That's a bad habit. I'll get after him about that. How about happy dollars? Happy dollars today.
Walt's out in Colorado smoking marijuana.
I escaped last week. My daughter is an amateur paleontologist, and she went out for a second year to a dig out in outside of Rapid City, South Dakota, and asked me to drive with her, and that's a hard one to turn down from your adult child. So we went out and driving through the heartland and stopped in Kansas City and really indulged in a lot. Lots of beer and lots of red meat, which I usually avoid, but when you're in that part of the country, dry-aged steaks and all are just phenomenal. And we hiked and kayaked and again, more beer and Rocky Mountain oysters. I don't know if you're familiar with those appendages to a bowl, but anyway, any of you who are in the either have this affliction or in the medical field know that all those things contain lots of purines, and I am unfortunately susceptible to gout. And so while the trip was wonderful, the hiking, kayaking, gem hunting, all that kind of stuff was kind of fun, I came back in a wheelchair. And, thank God for modern medicine.
Well, speaking of adult children, my younger daughter Bailey, who many of you have heard with her Rotary connection through the years, has this week left the public sector. 2 years on Capitol Hill was a good run, but remains in Washington. Has just gone to work starting Monday for a new job with a policy and developmental group, the umbrella organization Unidos, which used to be known as Rotary, which is a big advocacy group for the Latino umbrella organizations throughout the country. So she's changed jobs, and with her leaving the public sector, that left an opening somewhere. But as much as Eloise has enjoyed having me around at least some of the time in my premature retirement, this week it's going to be announced tomorrow, but the official act was done yesterday. Governor Cooper decided that I needed to get back to work and earn my keep for the state of North Carolina, so I've been nominated for a position on the North Carolina Industrial Commission.
Just want to thank my Rotary friends for all the kind words, support, and emails, and cards over the loss of my mom. And it was a difficult time for our family, but we also had a wonderful celebration of her life. And just wanted to say thank you to you all. And also a special call out to Tony and his team for hosting our celebration of her life. We had a awesome time. Thank you.
I want to thank Mike Allen. He helped my stepdaughter settle a legal dispute, shall we say, in her favor. And, thank you very much. So this is not a happy dollar or something, but here's a proposal. I'll pay $1 for it. If you're going to pass president at another Rotary Club and you join us, I suggest that they don't have to attend the board meeting to qualify for a blue badge.
Yeah. Oh, suggestion.
Yes.
So noted.
So noted.
Yeah. I got one. Went Saturday on an annual trip down to the PD River with Fred Berry, who's the expert, and went noodling. And, surround a big rock, and it's really something about being a redneck and just crawling down there. There's somebody standing on your back to hold you under while you stick your hand under a big rock and you pull out a big old catfish. So.
Did you get a catfish?
Yeah, and the better part of it's in my freezer now. About 35 pounds. We got another one at another pond. But we always tell some of the same stories and laugh. And apparently, sometimes locals come out and watch. And one year there was a fella, some old hung boy came out there and he was wearing logging boots and blue jeans. He gets in the river, it's over your head at times as you're going around there. And all of a sudden they realized that guy's drowning. They pulled him out. And the old boy said, "I can't swim in water that deep." Well, they talk about fishing. Grandparents said, you know, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he'll sit in the boat and drink beer all day. Who do I?
Good story, good wisdom from Grandpa Christensen. Guests, you are free to leave. We are going to have a club assembly, not a mandatory part of your attendance, so you're welcome. You're welcome to stay, but also feel free if you need to start your day, you're welcome to do that too. And in just about 30 seconds, we'll get going with our club assembly. Chairman, I will call on you individually. Not all the members need to leave. That was just guests. I'll call on the club. Chairman, in no specific order. Yeah, go ahead and get coffee and tank up, and we'll get started.
Yeah, he said we're too straggling. Yeah, he said we're a team. I said, I really don't.
You know, I don't know, as I said, I know about everybody on the team, which is good.
Yeah.
But my eyesight's kind of bad. Balls in the door.
That happened
I got a lot
Guys, we'll go ahead and get started now. As you all probably noticed, okay, settle down. As you all probably noticed, we have a slogan for the year. Okay, we're going to have a social, and you'll hear about it shortly. But for right now, we're going to have a meeting. This year, our motto for the year is, be the inspiration. So that's all right. Motto, and I just think one way to look at that is failure to think big is a huge waste of our potential. And just let that sink in. If we don't have goals and aspirations and move towards them, we're leaving an awful lot on the table. So I'm going to start off and announce a few people who have agreed to serve during the year in some different roles. I want to recognize Mike Allen for serving on the Polio Plus. We're going to have one more round of it this year to see if we can snuff out polio for good. Family of Rotary, Rick Martin, thank you so much for being the service, the chair of the Family of Rotary. District Conference Chair for the club chair for 2019 is Kelly Harrell, and I so appreciate that. And we probably have some future projects that I haven't heard about yet that I'll need to ask for someone to raise their hand and say, I'll tackle that for you. So to be determined, but I am looking, let me know if you think you might want to take on a little project, not as big as a chairmanship, but something that pops up. Club service is first. Matthew, you want to give us a quick rundown on club service?
Sure. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We, I hate to be the bubble buster, but we're really not doing anything different than we did last year. I've got some dates up there for the street cleanup, which I'd like to keep them firm, but more or less they'll probably change because Greensboro likes to do some, quarterly trash pickups, and we tie in with them, and they provide bags and gloves, and part of the community that helps. It's nice. Project Rebuild, those dates are confirmed. It will be October 5th and 6th. We are going to be working on tornado homes that were destroyed by the tornado. Personally, I kind of thought, well, I don't know, I shouldn't say. I thought most of that stuff would be handled or demoed by now, but I guess they're still struggling to get things back together, and we're going to jump in October and help them out with that. Ring of the Bell in December, and other events, like it says, Camp Carefree in the spring will be our big project. And we're going to keep collecting, which we haven't done a really good job of, to be honest. Keep collecting canned food for the meetings for the, was it Rush? Is it what it is?
Rush. We'll make some announcements and reminders on that.
But besides that, you guys know what to expect. I'd really like to get a little more participation this year than I had last year. That'd be nice. Instead of all of us just coming and eating breakfast and socializing, we can socialize with Hammer, I promise. So breaks work well too. So that's my spiel, and I hope to see y'all out there, and go Rotary.
We'll have a good turnout, man. Yeah. Membership, Lisa. Were you ready for me, or?
I'm ready. Good morning. I want to bring my committee up.
Come on,
My
peeps.
membership committee.
Peeps.
This is my membership committee.
You're looking for more.
And
You have 40 people in here this morning.
that's right. We could use a couple other folks to plug in. Anyway, we've already met. Mark's already, we volunteered him, but he and his wife have graciously agreed to host a fall social on September 12th at their home. And that will take the place of a breakfast meeting. So that's a Wednesday night, so we won't meet on the 13th here. Chip, and who else? Chip, myself, and I think Walt will
yes.
attend the October membership summit, and a couple of us went last year, I believe Jeff Tillman and I went, and that was a great, really informative conference. And so I think if we, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if we attend, the three of us attend, we don't have to worry about the +1 membership requirement for this year. So it lets Chip off the hook for all the responsibility for Gold Club, yeah. We are also planning on having a sponsorship 101, really just to go back and talk about what it means to be a sponsor for someone and the responsibilities that we all have to the folks that we bring in as new members. And we don't have a date set yet, but we will be having some Discover Rotary meetings. And some of those may take, Chip's not here, so we can decide that, may take place at 5:05 on a Wednesday. And so I may host one at my house, and any other volunteers that would be willing to have folks come and bring prospective members at your house one afternoon for wine and cheese or beer and pretzels or whatever. I will take volunteers. So we have some things planned for the year, and welcome your feedback.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lisa. Club admin, it is short and sweet, Tony.
Yeah. So one thing that for those that have I've already spoken with, decided up for the Sergeant Arms as a board, we discussed that it's important for that person that's playing that role and taking attendance as people walking in to really get a sense of how it should flow and to identify, be there longer in order to really get a flow of that. So as a board, between that and the raffle, Queen of Hearts, we decided that it's sort of a 12-week gig, if you will, for those that are signing up for it, and that gives you a real long time to, as a newer member, get accustomed to names and faces and really putting names and faces, because we don't always hop around to all the different tables that we could. And with invocations, same thing, and we'll be getting the list out, or getting you all involved in each of those. 505s, Chip's really done a good job of incorporating other clubs. I think that's been something that's been a success. That being said, if anyone has, and I know Lisa already mentioned sort of one of those ideas, but if anyone has other ideas on what you would like to see incorporated, I think there's nothing wrong with a standard sort of Wednesday night gathering at a particular location, and I think it's definitely morphed with multiple club stints sort of happen every week. But I think there's other opportunities that we can, on a completely voluntary basis, gather together as Rotarians. So if y'all have ideas on places that you might want to consider doing things like that, just to put it on an events calendar, please let me know. And of course, we'll be getting ready for the Santa breakfast coming up here in December. So.
Yeah, we're moaning right now about how hot it is, and I tell you what, in just a couple months we're going to be talking about, it's so cold this morning. It's getting dark early. Santa breakfast right around the corner. And let me tell you something about Sergeant at Arms. In some clubs, that is a year-long, that's like a chairmanship, it's a year-long commitment, and you have the same person that serves it. It's a very important position, and that's why it's held up. It's like a chairmanship level. And there was a time where we would do that. We would have one person serve for the entire year. But we also believe that in order to engage new members and for them to have the benefit of seeing names and faces and a list and maybe having someone next to them to say, okay, who was that? There's a lot of value to that. So instead of having one person do it for the entire year, that's one reason we do the rotation, because we do believe that while it is a very important role, we think there's also a lot of value to that introduction aspect of it. Foundation, is Mike Conrad here?
No. Let's see what you put up there for me.
Can you read it? This is like number 30 font. I thought, you'll be able to see this from the Friendly Center. I'm sorry.
All right. First of all, thank all of you for your support of our Rotary Foundation. Our club is terrific. This past year, just as an example, we gave $20,000 to the annual fund of our Rotary Foundation, and what that means is in 3 years, 50% of that comes back to be able to be used in our community for projects that we do, some of our club projects and projects that we do with other clubs here in the Greensboro area. So in addition to that, we contributed about $6,000 to polio. So Mike, where is Mike? Is Mike here? Mike Allen's got a job ahead of him. That was a great number last year, as you recall. We really went out for polio and raised so our total was like $26,000. So the goals for this year, we were the third in all of Rotary out of 35,000 clubs to be a Triple Crown club, in that everybody was a Paul Harris Fellow, everybody was sustaining, meaning they gave $100 to each year to our Rotary Foundation, and everyone was a benefactor in that they said that they'll give $1,000 whenever they leave this good earth to our Rotary Foundation. And we had gotten away from that. We continued to be 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club and sustaining, and then my friend Ralph decided that we needed to get back to the Triple Crown level, which we did last year. So we want to maintain that as we move forward, and there's no doubt that we'll not be able to do that. The second one is Paul Harris Society. We have like 14 of our members who have pledged to give $1,000 every year to our Rotary Foundation, and that's a huge percentage. That's like 20% of our club members. And the goal is to add 2 new Paul Harris Society members this year. And you know, I don't want to call out anybody, but we always get our president on board. So, ouch! Hold your wallet there. Okay. The third one is add 5 new Bequest Society members. Years ago, we have now 8 members who have agreed to give at least $10,000 whenever they leave this good earth to our Rotary Foundation. We've not really had an emphasis on that in terms of adding new members or those that are current members to move to the next level. And the reason I have this up here is we have a drive right now in our district to raise $1 million by the end of January of 2019. Currently, we're about $560,000, so we're over halfway there. And anyone that commits to a Bequest Society member can attend. We have our Rotary International President, Barry Rasson, who is just a tremendous friend of our district, is going to be our keynote speaker on February 12th at Grandover to celebrate, and we're going to celebrate raising $1 million plus for our Rotary Foundation. So I'd love to add at least 5 new Bequest Society members from the Gate City Club, and I truly believe that we can do that. And number 4 is the Foundation Banquet. Foundation Month is always November, and we'll have our Foundation Banquet over at the Corey Convention Center, and this is a low-ball number, saying that we have a minimum of 10 folks there, including spouses. We'll do better than that, and there will be, I think, Claudia's got a trustee that's coming to speak. I can't remember the date, but we'll get that on your calendar, and hopefully we'll have a great attendance. It's always a great evening and a great celebration of what we've done in the foundation the prior year. So those are our goals.
That's a good sandbag number 2, I think.
Quick question, Mike.
Yes.
2, 3, and 4, are any of those gold club requirements?
No.
Okay.
They're just great goals for
Yeah,
our
they're
club,
great goals, I
because
get that.
we're what I call a high-performing club.
Yeah.
In terms of not only for this district, but all of Rotary, we do such good work. So thanks for all you do.
Matthew.
Did I hear correctly, we were one of 3 out of 45,000 clubs that got Triple Crown?
We're the third one out of over 35,000 clubs. Yes, that is correct. And that one of those clubs is no longer, the Willow Creek Club got dissolved into another club, so we're really number 2. in all
The
of Rotary.
second to do it. There
Huh?
are, there are more than two, but we're the
Right.
second to do it.
And we, in this district, by the way, we are the first 100% Paul Harris Fella Club in all of Rotary. And that happened about 12 years ago, where at one time, every member of this district, every club member was a Paul Harris Fellow. And that's #1 in the world, and it's never been topped.
Was that the district, everyone in the district, or everybody in this club?
Everyone in the district. At that time, that would have been about 28 to 3,000 people.
Incredible. Any other questions for Mike? I think you can tell that we are more than just Rotarians in name only. This is evidence of a high-performing club. And if you go to other clubs or sit in on some meetings that the leadership gets to sit in on and listen to, you recognize this is a very special club, and you guys your commitment levels, it's noted well throughout the district. Public image. Jeff Tillman.
Hey, good morning. One of the things that I want to thank everybody at your own table, look around at each other. The good news is we are the best looking Rotary Club, at least in the district. So y'all are sort of making my job easy.
We're the best looking club here today.
Especially you, Howard. You're very handsome. We are going to do a couple of things that are easy to do, and they're out of my realm of expertise, but I think we have some folks
I'm not the only one
that do Instagram. If anybody knows about that, it's everybody is.
Where's Jonathan Smith?
That's the new thing. I want to get a point person on board to help us kind of weekly, maybe once a week, post something about our Rotary Club. And I'll be making some calls, and I have a couple people in mind already that I see a couple of them here. So, but we'd also like to promote our weekly speakers. And what we had talked about doing was we're going to put together a little. You've seen those step and repeat boards. It's like people in Hollywood stand in front of something that's got logos all behind it. Well, we were thinking it'd be cool if we could take the speaker's own phone, take a picture of them in front of the board and maybe the person that brought them to speak. And hopefully they would put that on their Facebook page or share it with their folks. And we'll do it as well. We're working out some details, Tony and I and Judy Brumley, on the size and the scope and all that and the pricing.
Jeff, I just want to stop you right now. One of the priorities for Rotary is to raise the profile. Rotary has been such a quiet organization, kind of behind the scenes, very noble, but really kind of low profile. That is an excellent way to leverage social media. I think it's a great way to provide visibility for our club, for Rotary, so I'm so appreciative of that.
Yeah,
So would the logo all have like our charities on it and Rotary, or?
the thought is it would have Gate City Rotary, Gate City Rotary, Gate City Rotary, and then it would alternate, and we'd have O. Henry Hotel, because I think it's cool that we can promote our club and also promote the venue, because I think that's a good draw. A lot of times when I tell folks.
You might put some of our charities up there too, just to associate.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And we haven't done the board yet, so that's good. I know Camp Carefree would be great to put that up there on there too. But I think too that when I tell folks where we have our meeting, I'm delighted to say we meet at the Henry Hotel. I think it's just a landmark for Greensboro, and I think everybody kind of goes, "Oh yeah, wow, that's high cotton." We are going to get a little more proactive, and this is on me more than anybody else, about making sure we promote and get out more of the word out on the pig stock, especially, and the big annual fundraiser we do. Those things are, they kind of sneak up on us if we're not. It's just like this practice. We know it's coming, but all of a sudden it gets here. So I'll try to get together with a couple folks and make sure we have those big events promoted. We talked about developing a little brochure or palm card to hand out to prospective members about our club. And we've got a couple folks that have some thoughts on that we'll flesh out. That's about it. Anybody have any suggestions about social media, Instagram, any of that stuff, please send me an email or catch me at the meeting, because I'm, like I said, I'm not all up on that like I should be, but I know that's the next place we need to go.
Jeff, thank you. Some great ideas. Yes, sir, Dennis.
This is a question, I don't know if this is the right place for it, but on our fundraiser, one of the things I thought of was that we never invite our sponsors to one of our meetings. And I just thought that would be a great idea to reinforce theirs, show the appreciation, have the slide in which talks about our charity work and our donation work and everything else, and get them to know us better than just, hey, will you be a sponsor? But I think if we did that, that would be, I think the sponsorships may actually, they may go higher.
Right, a great way to renew it from year to year and gin up some more familiarity with what we do. Okay, I've got a pinch hit for Justin on this. Rotary Youth Leadership Program, it's occurring this week out at Guilford College. As you know, it's a fantastic opportunity for rising juniors and seniors in high school to have some interaction with the Center for Creative Leadership and some college leaders and business leaders. We'll continue to work the Interact at Kaiser Middle. I'm very excited about that. Ralph, do you have, I know you're not expecting this, but do you have any comments on that? Or any
Actually, Jed O'Donnell, who came to speak with us, has been promoted to Greenwich, which a lot of you have heard. He is still very interested in joining the club now that he can get to school a little bit later. Now he's in the high school, so he's definitely going to be visiting probably next week and hopefully there forward. He's going to introduce me to the Kaiser principal the first week of school, and he's already told him like him on what we're doing with them as far as the Interact. And really, when I set it up, instead of them doing a big project and trying to organize it because they're 6th, 7th, 8th graders, really just getting them involved with our project. So we just want to include them in trash pickup, things that are fairly safe.
Easy, accessible.
Yes, exactly. Safe project, right? Food awareness and that type of thing. But yeah, they're locked on, and I will be the liaison to Kaiser. So
great.
If you got any questions or any suggestions for them, I'm glad to take it back to the school.
Ralph, thank you. Thank you for bringing Jed. Great prospect. Interact at Page High School. We're going to see if we can get that fired back up. I know Neil's daughters are over there. She may be able to be a liaison. Justin thought that she might be able to help with that too. I put fundraiser in here because I heard Guy Rabondo say he didn't want to be left off the program, that he had some announcements, but he is not here today. And I sent him an email earlier in the week. He may be on vacation, so it may just be.
They are.
And not checking his email. That's all right. Past President's Committee, Jim, you want to just, I'll give you just a couple minutes if you want to.
Okay. Past President's Committee, myself, Ralph Jones, of course, is past president, Tom Phoenix, Buster Lewis, and Dan Quinn. Our first, you've got it first on the list, but the first thing we're going after is identifying and securing approval for the person who will follow Guy Rabondo as president of the club. Anybody want to volunteer, please stand up. Okay, well, we start that process now because it's a pretty intensive vetting process, and normally we don't want it to boil down to some kind of press game kind of environment in December, where somebody really feels like they're obligated to do that and don't understand what's involved. There's also, I believe, Chip, a December 31st deadline for identifying that person to district. Apart from that, our job is to, quote, oversee the club financial audit. That doesn't mean get your hands in there, but it just means make sure that it's being done in a timely manner. Coming up in December, or rather September, we will publish the application for club member grants, so that we can line that up before the end of the calendar year. And then GTCC scholarships. Dennis Marcotte has done an amazing job leading that the past. I hope you will continue that in the future. So again, that's kind of an oversight role. And the only other thing that isn't a bullet on there is that there's supposed to be a rotating term of membership for that PPC, and we really have to reestablish that. Right now, we're kind of all in the committee without any expiration dates. So we have to sit down and get our heads together and figure out how we're going to reset that committee so that going forward, the past president automatically comes onto that committee, i.e. Ralph is on it now. And so we have to figure out a scheme for how others rotate off and so forth. That's about it.
Class of 2018, class of 2019, class of 20.
Yes, right.
So on the horizon, fun socials, interesting programs. Walt did a great job last week. I watched the video, that was good. We're a proactive club. Careful growth through committed members who want to be in a service organization, to enjoy weekly fellowship, and have sufficient disposable time and resources to support their obligations. We'll raise both our club profile and Rotary's profile. We talked about that. And we're closing in on the point where we can initiate our scholarship program that we've been working on for like the last 10 years. So social, Project Rebuild, and Big Stock are on the horizon. Real quick, I'm going to give you kind of a 1-minute overview of the budget. We're 99% prepared on the budget. Total revenue for the club, for those of you who are numerous people and interested, is $66,000. That's the minimum. It depends on the number of members, and as you might imagine. But we collect each quarter. We collect for food, dues. The club gets a management fee for operating the fundraiser. We get a 5% management fee for that, and there's some miscellaneous, the Queen of Hearts raffle and Happy Dollars. Total expenses, the maximum expected will be $70,000, and that leaves a net of a negative $4,000. That's if things don't go well. Expenses, we'll need to just manage that closely, and I expect we can, but where we really get mostly sideways is for dues and receivables just to languish, and every now and then you have a member who gets pretty far behind and just disappears or resigns and leaves an outstanding account. So we will be a little more proactive this year in keeping current on our dues so that we don't wind up with short on the revenue and finding that we have to scramble to cover expenses. I do expect we'll be a net break-even club, but if you wonder why we are pushing to not have languishing outstanding accounts, it's because if they do get sideways, the club will be in a hole, and we budget net on that. That is it. Does anyone have any questions? We've covered a lot of stuff this morning. I think we've covered the waterfront. Thank you for your attendance, and the meeting is adjourned.